We're going to talk about your first bit of cinematic excellence, which maybe it's not, but it's definitely the one that sticks with us the most. And we quote nonstop, which is heavyweights.
Yeah. And
did you know, first of all, before I said the movie, did you know I was going to say heavyweights?
I think I saw you had like a Perkis Power shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brett V for that one.
And I'd heard some, rumblings that you guys were into it, which was pretty cool.
Oh, into it. It was my life. It was, listen, I was a heavyweight growing up. Jason, he didn't get fat until he went to offensive
We switched places.
We switched places growing up. So Jason is more newly founded into it. But
so seriously, you were dealing with weight issues as a kid.
He was chubby.
I think I was just, I was dealing with my love for honey buns. I think that's what I was kind of dealing with more. But no, I saw heavyweights and was like, oh man, Camp Hope is like, if there's a camp out there like that, I want to go to it. Just kids that can be fat together and hide candy in their beds. And the kids that never like really lived up to the excellence of their brother and just the expectations that their parents set for themselves.
Yeah. I mean,
are you kidding? The Blob? Was it go-kart? Like that was everything a kid wanted to do it.
It was sort of, like a dream camp, but then, this guy comes in who never really dealt with children before.
Yeah. That's one of the funniest intros.
It was really fun to do. We had a great time. I mean, I remember the summer shooting the movie very well. We shot it down in near Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm still buddies with the guy who was my trainer when I was doing the movie.
So
Mickey Marino. Shout out to Mickey, who's down in East Hendersonville. Yeah, it was just, but today, first of all, the fact that was a Disney movie.
It is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That was.
I chuckle at it every time I see Disney across the top.
Yeah.
It's an edgy Disney movie for sure.
It's not Little Mermaid. And I don't even think they were aware of it at the time. It was a different time, right? It was pre social media. It was, I think there was less of a sort of a moment to moment awareness of, if you're doing something right or wrong and all that. So it was, and Judd Apatow was producing it. Judd and I were friends and had been working together on a show we had done and had gotten canceled. And I had gone and directed a movie, my first movie. And he said, hey, we're going to go down. Steve Brill's the director, really funny guy. We're going to go down to Asheville and do this fun this camp comedy. You could play this like mean guy who, is mean to these kids who are overweight. And it seemed fun and funny.
I'm in. Yeah, it's right there.
And it was like, and it happens to be Disney, whatever. And I think they went off and they made the movie and Disney looked at it and was like, this isn't quite, this isn't down the middle for the Disney brand. And they kind of put it out there or whatever. And then that was it. You must have seen it on video, right?
Oh, 100%.
A few years after it came out or something, right? Because it's 30 years old.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
But then it's had
I saw
this
it later
life.
in the 90s for sure.
But yeah, it never would have gotten made today. And
why do you say that?
I think just because the character is being so mean to these kids who are dealing with weight issues that I don't think... But don't you think that's getting off the drawing board?
I understand, but I feel like the movie also inspired more people that were overweight. Like it really ends up being something that most of the people that I knew that were overweight, or it was like a healthy relationship with that at the end of the day. I do agree that Tony was not the nicest to the kids.
No, I think Tony is dealing with his own weight issues.
Oh, for sure.
Which is very clear. And his own feelings towards his parents, and also that he's a kid who never interacted with other kids. And, he wants to be famous. And, I feel for Tony. I feel like he's the most sympathetic character in the movie.
I was like, where did Tony come? Like, where did you find him? Is there any inspiration?
There was a little bit of Tony Robbins in there.
Okay.
Tony Robbins, the motivational guy, just in terms of the voice and how he talks. And his kind of weird sort of like Tony Robbins had this thing where he could sort of like, he could kind of like hypnotize you with his eyes.
Yes.
And I don't know, man. And then we just sort of like played around, and it's funny, like, cause I look back at clips, I saw a clip like behind the scenes on it, and I was like, God, we were so young back then too. Just like kind of just doing it, you know what I mean? And just kind of going for it. And you don't really think about it that much. And the kids were so much fun. And it was, kind of like every day we were just, and my folks were in it playing my parents.
That's so
and
cool, man.
We had the best time.
Let somebody sign your checks.
Oh yeah, don't let it.
Best advice I ever got. So I guess how much of that movie of Tony was being scripted, and how much of that is you off the cuff?
Just ripping it.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think like we were improvising all the time. it sort of, I feel like there were some improv moments there. I think like that little moment where Tony goes and talks to himself when he's weighing the kids.
So we brought this up. It's my favorite scene in the movie.
He's asking this question.
How you doing, Tony? How you doing, little Tony? Bad.
Yeah.
Why you? Well, everything's falling down around me. There's nothing I can do about. I'm sorry, I don't want to do your bit for you, but please. Everything's falling down around me. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, whose fault is it?
It's their fault. Right?
It's not my fault. It's their fault. That's right. It's their fault. It's their fault. You have failed.
Yeah. The thing that's kind of funny to me about that scene is it was improvised. But if you've ever been in therapy or gone to therapy, that's a lot of people talk about talking to your inner child.
Oh, yeah.
And finding your inner child and connecting with your inner child. And over the years, I've been in a therapy session where the therapist says, like, you should go, like, let's talk to your inner child. Mm-hmm. And I literally feel like I'm just doing a scene from Heavyweights in therapy. So I always feel like it's just, this is kind of silly because I've literally done this in a movie where it actually made sense that Tony was able to talk himself into understanding that he is not the problem, they are the problem. And he helped himself. So in a way, it's a very healthy connection that he's having, with himself.
100%.
Well, with 100%. Himself. Maybe not with the kids, but with himself.
Well, no. And I think, the kids also, like, let's face it, the kids were cheating. They should have been following the rules. Right?
It's an interesting way to reevaluate this movie. They were the problem. They were the ones hiding candy and not hustling.
If you go to a camp where you want to lose weight, you got to play by the rules, right? It's like if you guys show up at training camp, right? If you're not going to put the work in, right? Nobody's going to be able to force you to do it, right? You got to have the mindset.
Yeah, I definitely go to Chick-fil-A during camp, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't go to the meal room.
I know some guys that are probably hiding some stuff in their beds.